Hello, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining me from. My name is Brenda Unu, and I'm super excited to have you here today on our holiday edition of Women's Matters. Yay! Ruth, you're always the first to join us. Thank you so much for being consistent. Thank you for joining. You give me the energy that I need and make me just keep on doing this. Good evening. Today I was so tired. I said to myself, it's a holiday, let's rest. We have to have this life. And I remember that I told myself that I was building consistency. I was building, I was trying to be consistent. I was trying to work on my consistency because I'm the kind of person that just I get excited about something and then the excitement fizzles out and then I just give up. So I said to myself, I will not let that happen with this program. I'm going to do it. And people like you, Ruth, give me the energy I need to keep going. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. So today, we're going. I had to ask myself, what shall we be talking about today? Today, we're going to be talking about anything. Like you can literally ask me anything. Okay, I won't stop. Thank you so much. You just keep me going. Thank you so much. So, what shall we be talking about today? I started the month of April by talking about, re-strategizing for your goals, and so many things have happened from that Tuesday to now. So many things, and I think that God has been speaking to me because of that conversation. And in fact, I've been having a long conversation on monetizing your goals, monetizing your gifts. I will start from there before I get questions. So anybody that has any questions as they join the live, they can throw in the questions, type it in, ask to come on live with me to ask a question, or just type your question and we shall take them. Okay? So today, before you start to ask questions, I will be talking about, how to monetize your gifts, and I'll talk about your gifts. What are gifts, and how is this economy treating you guys? Hey God, if you're in Nigeria, how is it going? How are you? Please, if you're abroad, check on your Nigerian friends. We're going through a lot. A lot is a lot. But God has been faithful, and God is, watching out for us, and God is showing us, treasures and hidden places. And which is why I can't stop talking about this monetization thing. Because I find that all of us are heavily resourced. We don't know, we don't believe it, but each and every one of us is heavily resourced. So we all, as people, have a lot of gifts, but we just commonize these gifts. Like we just kind of think like, it's not just to be able to make hair. It's not all that. Everybody can pack their hair nicely. Now, what's really there? Or it's not just to be able to make a nice cake. Everybody can do that. Or it's not just to do content online. What's the big deal? Everybody does it. Or is it not just to, make it, or just to put dresses together, put yourself together and style yourself? Everybody can do that. But guess what, people? Not everybody can do that. Hi, Pusala. Nice of you to join us. So that thing that you think is common. Right now I'm talking about monetizing your gifts. That thing that you think is common, that you think it's not just, everybody can. That thing is what God has deposited in you to make a way for you. Now there's a scripture, one of my favorite scriptures that says, the man's gift makes a way for him. Many people listen to that, and many people read that scripture and think about the fact that when you bring a gift to somebody, it will make them, listen to you well. Okay, it can mean that. But it can also mean, and it does also mean, that a man's gift makes a way for him. That is the thing that you are gifted with will make a thing for you. And it brings me back to one of my favorite people in the scripture, Joseph. Joseph the dreamer, or Joseph the husband of Mary. Now, Joseph the husband of Mary is also one of my favorite people, but for today I'm talking about Joseph the dreamer. Joseph the dreamer is Joseph the son of Jacob. Son of Jacob. The one that there were 12 brothers, that all of them became the 12 tribes of Israel. Good. So that Joseph, we all know Joseph, he was a dreamer. Joseph used to, see himself doing marvelous things, and his brothers were angry with him, like, what is wrong with you? Are you the only person? What rubbish, And they planned and they sold him away to slavery. But Joseph's gift made a way for him, like literally. His gift of dreaming and interpreting dreams, which he honed over the years. Now, that's the difference. Joseph had a gift, right? But he was actively using the gift. And so, as he was actively using it, he honed the gift. And so, by the time that he had to meet with Pharaoh, who needed interpretation, he had done this over and over and over again. He knew how to do it. And so, he was able to do it to a point where Pharaoh could make him, prime minister, like vice president, vice pharaoh, whatever you want to call it, right? And so that brings me to how to explain this monetization thing. So number one, you have a gift. Know that your gift will make a way for you. Number two is to know that a gift which is not developed cannot make a way for you. Yeah. Hi, Denike. Nice of you to join. Go and call all your friends and family. We're live today, and they can literally get to ask me any question. So while I'm waiting for people to ask me questions or ask to come on live with me and ask questions with me, I'm just talking about monetization, because I started by talking about how you people enjoying this our country, Nigeria. That if you are not in Nigeria, please check on your Nigerian friends. That is not, it is easy for us in Jesus' name. Check on your friends. Okay, Barrister K, ask for a request to be in my live video. Okay, I'm gonna get you on. Let's see. Or was that a mistake? Let me know before I was talking about monetizing, right? So I said your gifts, number one, you have to find the gifts, right? Acknowledge that it's a gift from God. And number two, you have to hone the gifts. Hone, Hone. How do you hone your gifts? By working on them, by using them, right? So when I was a kid, I was in secondary school, went to boarding school in Queen's College, Yaba. While I was a kid in secondary school, my mother used to give me points to make my hair. My mother was so organized. Hi, Nicole. Nice to meet you. My mother was very organized. So when she wants to give you pocket money, she'll give you, so maybe it was 1 naira, I can't remember those days, that you should put in church. She will count number of weeks you are going to be in school and give you that number of offering money. Then she will count money for doing your hair. She'll give you that number of money. I don't know, maybe it's 5 naira, I can't remember how much, per week, and give you that one separately. Then she will not give you your pocket money, which is for buying things in talk shop and all whatnot. But she used to give us some sort of biscuit that you can take to school even if you don't spend money in talk shop. My mother was that organized, yeah. So I had money for doing my hair. It's not as if I was lacking money for doing my hair. But I found out that the women that made hair in our school, they just told me, Daniel, do you really want to join me live, or are you just, was that your request a mistake? Let me know. So type in the chat and let me know if you really want to come live with me, because I announced that anyone that wants to ask me questions will come live with me to ask me, or we can type it in the chat. So let me know. Now, as I was saying, for my mother and pocket money. So my mother used to give us that money, and the first time I tried to pay hair, and the women, hey Jesus, you know those women that used to make thread, and thread was tight. Imagine me now, sharp young junior girl, come and be doing thread to school. Like, it was not all right. It was not all right for my street cred. So I just ditched those women. First of all, the hair was painful. Secondly, it was thread, and I'm like, no. I now found out that other students were making their hair themselves. So you could find girls that could make hair. But the thing about those was that the people that could make hair were few, and people that wanted them to make their hair were a lot. So it was a case of, who you like or who likes you before they can make your hair for you. What I now started to do was, what I now found worked was that if you can make hair, you can exchange your skill. So I started to learn how to make hair. As I started to learn how to make hair, I was now able to attract people that could make hair very well. So there was this girl in my school, Ene. Ene was a Benue girl. Ene would make, how those house of used to make hair tiny. As in everybody was lining up at Ene's door to make their hair. I started making hair simply. I started learning with my friends' hair, started learning and honing my gifts, honing my crafts, yeah. And by the time I now got so good at making the hair, Ene would come to me and say, let me make your hair, Brenda. I want you to make my hair. Oh, see me now. Would I be proud of? So every time I get to make her hair, I'll make her hair very carefully, because I wanted to make her hair really nice, because she would make my hair tiny, like those house of women. And it was always, so I was always like neatest in the class, my hair all well done and all of that. How did I get there? My gifts made the way for me. Like, and I had to hone that craft. I had to hone it. I had to work on it. I had to do it every week so that it became better. And I could now exchange it for value, which is ending making my hair. Now, this simple example, I'm going to talk to you about monetizing your gifts. Now, let's see whether Elizabeth Daniel really wants to go live with me, or if that was a mistake. Elizabeth Daniel is a man. No? Let's see whether that was a mistake. So basically, you can ask me any questions, and you can join live. Hi, Casa de Neta, Tonya. Let me type it here so that as people come, they can see. They can ask me any questions by asking to come live with me, or comments in the thread. Yep. Okay. And let me see if I can pin that. Question have come. What inspired me to start Women's Matters IG Lives? That's a very good question. What inspired me to do that? I would say that it was two things. Number one, I believe I heard God say that I should do it. And I had to start to think about the ways in which I would do it. So I wanted to teach women something. And I've been teaching women in my community. I have a community of about 300 women. And I've been teaching them, daily. When we share the word, we break the word, and we just generally teach each other from our life stories. And I just wanted to share this message outside of those women. I wanted to reach more people. I wanted to reach, because more people needed to hear this word. And so I thought women are going through a lot. Women go through a lot, as in they struggle with so many things fighting them. And if we can harp on women's issues, if we can share women's issues, and we have a platform where we can talk about the things that affect us as women, the things that people are not really talking about, because we're a Christian community, but we want to talk about the things that the church doesn't talk about, the things that people shy away from. We want to talk about sex, we want to talk about intimacy in marriage, we want to talk about in-laws drama, we want to talk about work stuff, how to get ahead in work, how to get ahead in your business, how to position yourself for this and for that, and all that kind of conversations that people do not readily talk about in a regular Christian community. So we wanted to talk about things like that. I wanted to have a platform where I can reach people that are not only my community members, but other people, and to just spread the word and teach them as much as I can. So that was what inspired me to start Women's Matters. Also, I think that God was trying to teach me consistency. So I've been struggling with consistency, and my coach told me that if you cannot be consistent at something, God cannot trust you. Ha! He entered. I was like, God cannot trust me. Father Lord, me that I'm expecting you to do big things in my life, you cannot trust me because I'm not consistent. I can be consistent. Father Lord, watch me be consistent. So what I did was to set myself up for consistency by announcing this regular lives. So I announced it. And once I'd announced it, I had to do it, because who wants to look like a unserious person? No, nobody wants to look unserious. So once I announced it, it was my cure. It was the cure, literally. So here I am. We're going how many months strong now? We started in December. We've done December, we've done January, we've done February, we've done March, and we're now in April. Goodness, we've done 4 months. I'm super excited about it. And I know that it can only get better. So yes. That's why I started Women's Matters. Thank you. Any other question? Any other question? I see somebody's request to join live. Do you really want me to join live, or is this an error? I'm trying to add you, and you are not able to come on live with me. And that is Daniel. Daniel is trying to come live. If you have a question, please type it in the chat, because I'm not able to make you come live with me. Anyone who has any other questions, please ask me. So, while you're thinking of your questions, let me continue my conversation about the gift thing. So, I gave you the simple example of my hair making and learning how to make hair. First of all, please tell me if you can hear me clearly, because there's no, I have the fan on here, and I have a feeling that it may be affecting the audio. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly, so I know to turn off the fan if I have to. Can you hear me? Or can it be better? Is my audio a little bit in and out, or can you hear me very clearly? Please let me know so I know whether I can turn fan or whether I should just continue. Okay. Unless somebody is unable to join, that's fine. Just type your question if you have any questions. And to be honest, it can be anybody. You can ask me any questions on anything. Like, if I can answer, I will tell you I can answer. If I can, I will answer by the grace of the Almighty. Yeah? So, about gifts and monetizing. As I was saying, so the principle is simple. It's to, number one, acknowledge that you have gifts, find out what you're gifted in. And here is where most of us miss it. We just generally feel as if this thing that they call gifts, like some people are talented and some people are not, right? So we believe that it's not everybody that has been blessed. Like it's only some people, those people that can dance, those people that can sing, those people that can, play basketball, or those visible gifts. Some people just believe that gifts are only those visible things, those visible talents. However, gifts are so many and so varied, and God has not created any human being without a gift. If you remember the story of the parable of the talents, what's my favorite part about what I do? Oh, you're gonna get me to blush today. The favorite part about what I do is touching lives. I mean, I absolutely love it when people call me or send me a message and say, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you. This thing you shared, this thing you said, this thing you do was able to help me to do X, Y, Z. I love making a difference. I love impacting people's lives. I love encouraging people. And if they don't thank me, it's fine, because I'm sure my Father is thanking me. But what I do love to see is when people come back and say, because of what you said, or because of what you did, or because of what you shared, I was able to learn X, Y, Z. And for me, I was able to do this, learn this, and then do this. It's the execution that matters. So that's the best part for me. That's the part that gets me every time. Once people are able to see, for something you shared, or something you did, something you taught me, I was able to do this with my life, and my life became better by X, Y, Z. That's the favorite part for me. It's the best part. Thank you guys for joining. Hi. Hi, Dana. Hi, Joyful Woman. That's the favorite part for me, honestly. And as long as I live, I will continue to do what I can to affect the world positively. Because I believe that, there's something Charles B used to say, late Charles B of blessed memory. He'd say, if each one could teach one, then each one can reach one, and it will be a much better world, right? Yes, it's holiday, man. It's holiday edition. I almost did not do this live today. I say I'm on holiday, close out of it. But I remembered the why. You see, in this life, you have to have a why. Thank you, Denike, for asking, real estate for asking that question. That why? Why do I do this? It was the why that made me turn on my camera to do this thing today. Because I had a schedule, and my scheduled guests for the last 2 weeks were unavailable. They were unavailable because they had some, health challenges. And I was like, okay, I'll fill it up, no issues. And the holiday caught me by surprise. I completely forgot that today was Tuesday. Like, I've gone out. I went out to take my son to a camp. We finished there, went to go eat lunch somewhere. I've done things today. If I tell you how many things I've done, I wasn't telling myself, that friend, do you really have the energy to do this live today? We're on holiday. Let everybody just go and send a message to say, no live today, we're on holiday. But I said, you know what? The why of this thing was to master the act of consistency. You can't give up now. The why of this thing was to master the act of consistency. Of course, it's the key is to give back, to teach people, to help people, to give people a platform where we can learn and grow and all of that. For my own personal why, like me, the one that God was using to do for me, to teach me consistency. Because one of my mentors says that how you do one thing is how you do all the others. So if you can build consistency in one thing, you'll be able to build it in every other area. So here is me telling people that this is me trying to be consistent in this, and hoping and praying to God that I'll be able to carry it on to every other part of my life. So if you're struggling with consistency like I used to be, just pick one thing that looks like it will be hard for you to do, and declare that I want to do this. When you declare, there's something about declaring a goal. It just makes you're not able to you can't change your mind again. You must do it. Yeah. So that's what you need to do to help you to, overcome any kind of weakness, procrastination, whatever it is. I will talk about that maybe if you ask the question. But if people have not asked me question, I'm going back to the gist I was just in, which is about monetizing, right? So I told you that in the parable of the talents, um, God gave all three of them talents. Granted, they were not equal. Somebody had one, somebody had two, somebody had five. And that is how life is. Some people would have two, some people would have five. You may have only one. But guess what? God gives to you according to what you need at the time. God is not partial, it's what you can handle and what you need. Possibly the person that had five has already shown good stewardship when he had one. Then he was moved to two. Now he is now on level five. You may just be starting. You may be in level one. And that is why God is doing that to you. Okay, question has come. What structures have you put to help in consistency? Yeah. For me, what I have done is to prepare a calendar. First of all, I picked a time and a date where I thought that I could easily work with. So I have Tuesday 6 p.m. I normally work from home on Tuesdays. So I have a 9 to 5. And that means that I go to work. So on other days, I'll close at 5, and that can be, I can close at 6, I can close at 7. Lagos traffic can get me home at any time. But on Tuesdays, because I work from home, I'm able to make sure that I'm on my seats by 6 o'clock. So number one, I picked what a time that is doable. Number two, I picked an area where I have strength and passion for. So I picked something like, I picked this IG Live conversations. Number one, I love to talk. You may have noticed that already. Number two, I really love, I'm really passionate about women and women empowerment. So I merged the two together and said, what can I do in this line? Because when you pick something that is in your natural habitat, you are easier to succeed. Yeah, it's easier for you to succeed. So I picked this IG Lives. I said, Women's Matters. I will never be out of ideas for what to talk about on Women's Matters. So that's number two. And number three, I now prepare a calendar. I just took the list of topics and a list of people. I said, please, would you like to talk to me on this? Talk to me on this, talk to me on this, talk with me on this and that and that and that. So because I already have a calendar of people ready to talk with me on this, I'm not searching for somebody, right? And I also said, because this is an area of my passion, even when somebody counsels on me, I can show up. I can do it myself because I will never get out of ideas of what to talk about when it comes to something like this. So that is what I did. So if I had said I wanted to do consistency in something that is really difficult, really difficult for me, I could have been saying, okay, so maybe I'm just learning how to code, for example, yeah? Let me take something really crazy, code. As an IT code, let me say I wanted to learn how to code. I will now come and be saying that I want to do consistency in coding. I'm just learning how to code. I will struggle. When you want to make things easier for you, when you start with your comfort, start with your area of strength, and gradually build up. Like I said, I want to build the skill of consistency in one thing so that I can carry it on to other things. I will be able to use it for things that are harder for me. I will be able to move it to things that I'm not very excited about once I have mastered the art of consistency in this one area. So because how you do one thing is how you do every other thing. So I've simply decided that, okay, once I master it in this my area of strength, my area of, I don't want to use the word comfort because it's not very easy. Even though it's a day I work from home and all of that, it's not like today. I was not happy to do it. I want to be outside. I want to go out and enjoy myself. I literally came in from somewhere just now to be able to make this call, to be able to make this live. I was having fun, just with some people, but I have to come back because I have something to do. Yeah. So some days will be hard, some days will be tougher. Some days there are days that had to come from outside. There's some days I work on Tuesdays, not every time I work from home. Some days I've had to rush in from Lagos traffic, quickly put on powder and come late. Some days I may be dealing with a sick child and have to quickly finish with the child and look at the time and come and do it. Some days I may be dealing with a lot. I may be having a headache. I may be tired. There may be no power. There may be no internet. There may be all kinds of things going on. But I had to find a way to make it work. So it will not always be easy. But when you remember your why, when you remember where you're going to and where you're going for, you'll be more inspired to continue. And so that's my thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What other questions do you guys have for me today? And if you are hearing me clearly, and if what I'm saying is making some sense, please send me some love emojis. I'm not seeing anything coming up on my screen. Am I boring you guys? Tell me if you're enjoying my conversation today. And if you have any question or you really want to come live with me, where you are is bright and nice and I'm seeing the hearts now. Thank you. So if where you are is bright and clear, you can talk. You can also send me a request to join me live and ask me a question. If not, just type your question in the chat and we continue from there. Okay? Great. So back to my conversation about the gifts. So I was saying, thank you, Dr. Adana. Thank you for that question. It was an amazing question because even me, I had to think about it for a bit. What is this? Okay. Thank you. So more questions, please bring more questions. Thank you for the energy. So for the gifts thing, like I said, some people think that what they have is not a gift because it doesn't look as glamorous as, the gift of speaking, the gift of writing, the gift of dancing, the gift of, all of those other visual things, singing, that people can easily see and say, she's got that. I guess gifted, she can draw, she's gifted. So you think that what you have is not a gift, but I'm here to tell you that everything that you do effortlessly, that comes to you effortlessly is a gift. The things that people come to you and ask you for is a gift. The thing that they come to ask your opinion for, the thing they come to ask for your help for, the thing that people always compliment you for is a gift. Oh, that you can style your hair beautifully is a gift. That you know how to put together clothes and always come out looking sharp, even on a low budget, is a gift. You know how to make hair, and all, it's a gift. You know how to, speak in crowd, network properly with people. Anytime you go to an event, you know how to be unforgettable, it's a gift. You know how to encourage others, make people feel amazing just because they encountered you, it is a gift. You know how to, quell an argument, bring peace everywhere you go. Nobody can fight where you are, it is a gift. You know how to help people. Your heart is so pure. You're forever helping others. Once you hear that somebody needs help, you're there. It is a gift. How many more can I count? Anything that comes easily to you, anything that is effortless for you to do, anything that you can do, even if you're not being paid for it, anything that people come to ask for your help for is a gift. You know how to organize parties, it is a gift. You know how to teach people, break down concepts till it's very clear and people can understand it, it is a gift. You know how to make slides, like something as mundane as that, like not mundane, but as it looks ordinary, right? But some people just make the most beautiful slides. Every time they bring together slides, like, this, you're all right, you're doing good. Me, my good heart is a gift. Adana, you're too kind. Thank you. But each and every one of these things is a gift because God has given people a gift. Okay, somebody has sent me a question in the question, hey, by grace. She says, can you please share a pivotal moment that reinforced your commitment to your calling or passion? A pivotal moment that reinforced your commitment to your calling or passion. Pivotal. Because there have been many, honestly, there have been many moments. But let me say pivotal. I have to think about this a little, but I'll share the first one that comes top of my head. I remember that when I turned 40, was when I started. I would say I started at 39. Around time when I turned 39 is when I started on this my, journey to this my becoming, so to speak. So when I turned 40, I released a book that I called My Morning. And it came from the saying that says, whenever you wake up is your morning. I suddenly felt a move and a push to do something different, to help people, to share my stories and share my experiences so that people could get it easier on their way, right? So I wrote together a collection of my best social media posts because at that time I was posting regularly on social media, getting a lot of engagements, getting a lot of people like, thank you for this, thank you for sharing this, thank you for sharing that. So I put together a collection of those my best stories, my best posts, stories. They're not really stories. They just post, inspirational posts, and I put it in a book, and I called it my morning, and I shared it on my 40th birthday. I shared as a free gift. It's still available on my Instagram. You can just go to my personal Instagram, Brenda.unu, I think. Brenda.unu, my personal Instagram. You can find it there. You can also download it for free on my seller store. You can find links to all of this in my personal page. So I wrote this book and I shared it as far as I could. I told everybody to download the book, share it with your friends. It was just my gifts to everybody. I did have a live session on that day of my birthday, shared a lot of my story. People asked questions and all of that. Then somebody reached out to me. I'll never forget how I felt that day. I've never heard of her because when I write my books, I put my phone number, I put my email address, I put everything that you can contact me if you have any questions or you want to work with me or whatever. And this lady reached out to me and said, "Your story was so." She said something about the stories that I shared. She could totally relate. That she was presently in her AA. She was maybe I think she just turned 40 or something. She had a similar story to mine. And my story, as I put it down, gave her the encouragement to know that she would be fine. She was going through a lot at the time. I said if she would speak to me, she wouldn't mind. And I reached out to her and we spoke. And it was so, I don't know how to say that made me feel. Even if she had paid me £1,000,000, I wouldn't have felt the way that I felt just by her sending me that review. I screenshotted your review and I kept it for a long time. Every time I feel as if what I'm doing doesn't make sense, every time I feel as if what I'm doing is not affecting anybody, I read that review and I'm just thankful to God. So I say to people that God rewards us in our love language. God knows our love language. My love language is affirmations. I have many others. I have gifts. I love a lot of affirmation is my key and most critical love language. I really love to hear words of affirmation. Maybe that's why I give words of affirmation a lot to people. I'm also like I'm so happy to tell you nice and sweet things because I love it. So that review from that lady, that message to me was it was like a love letter from God. I felt so good. And I was like, this is why we do what we do. Somebody read my book the other day. This is my latest book called People of God. Have you bought my book? Diary of a Former Lazy Girl. Amazing, amazing book. Completely written on by the Holy Spirit. Somebody bought that book recently and she sent me a detailed review of what it meant and what it did to her life. And these are the things that just make it all worthwhile. When I think about the fact that I want to be sleeping, why am I here talking on a day when I should be resting? It's holiday. Why am I here? Why am I staying up at night to write that book that is going to help the next woman in some far? By the way, this woman that wrote me that message, she was in a fast place in the north. I've never even heard of the place. I was about to say Kafanchan, but it's not Kafanchan because I used to use Kafanchan to joke when we were younger. My mother would say, when she wants to say somewhere is far, she would say Kafanchan. The person came from Kafanchan, so that's what I wanted to say, but that's not where it was. It was some far place that I've never even heard of. That's where she was living. And she read my book, my free book. I didn't collect a dime for it. And it changed her life. So, sisters, if God has given you a gift, their destiny is tied to your gift. Destinies, lives are tied to your gift. Your gift is to speak. Your gift is to write. Your gift is to encourage. If your gift is to just assist others, please do it. Lives and destinies are tied to you using that gift. If you don't use that gift, let's talk about Joseph. I was talking about Joseph when I started this call. Joseph the dreamer, Joseph the son of Jacob. If Joseph had not used his dream to interpret that dream for Pharaoh, the famine would have come. He would have finished the Egyptians, him and his family inclusive. There would have been no food to help all of those teeming people that the Egyptians helped. Remember, they said the people were coming from all over the world to buy food from Egypt. If Joseph had not honed his gift and used it at the appropriate time, even his own family would have perished. He himself and his wife and children, they would have died because there was no food. Yeah? So sometimes it's not just about you. Your gift is much bigger than you. I don't know why I titled this live Ask Me Anything. I think the live is about our gifts right now. But the gift is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. When I get tired, when I don't feel like going on anymore, I feel like I just want to just rest. I remember that it's bigger than me. I remember that lives and destinies are tied to me using this gift. Some are called to 1,000. Some are called to 10,000. Some are called to 1. If you are not able to work for the one whom you are called to, how will God call you to 10,000? We sit down and we're impressed by people like the Topa Olabegis, the DDKs, the Ibukwa Washikas, the Jumoke, the ones that have millions and thousands of people following them, and we're thinking, oh God, this is the kind of impact I want. Sister, what if you are called to 1? What if you're not called to hundreds of thousands? What if you're called to 10? What if you're called to 100? Have you served that 1? Have you served that 100? Have you served that 1,000 that you were called to? How do you expect God to ascend you to 100,000? Joseph had been using his dream interpretation gift. He had been interpreting his own dreams. He got to the prison where Potiphar put him because of his anti-wife that was lying against our guy. He got to the prison and he was using it. In using that gift in the prison out of love, because they did not ask him, he saw them say, hi guys, people are not looking okay today. What's wrong? Are you okay? And they told him and he interpreted and it came true. And they were releasing the guy and he said, don't forget me when you get to your kingdom. Because the guy forgot him. But even though it took like 2 years, but the guy came back. The guy remembered him when there was a problem. If he was not using the gifts, would the guy be able to say there's a Hebrew slave in the prison that has so and so gift? If he's not using, would they know? Nobody would know. If you have a gift you're not using, nobody will know. Nobody can use it. Nobody can call you, and the gifts cannot elevate you. You see? The gifts cannot take you to the place of kings if nobody knows you have the gifts. If your friend is not in a place where they're telling her, oh, right now we want to design this amazing high-rise building, and you know anything, and you don't know that Brenda is an architect, you know that she can do it. How will you be able to tell them that I know somebody? You can't know. You can't tell them. And the gifts cannot help me because nobody knows that I have it. You see? So now we have to be conscious. We have to be conscious about using it, strengthening it, honing the gift. As we strengthen, use, and hone the gift, then we can talk about monetizing it. So how do you monetize your gift? How do you monetize your gift? Is this something you want to do? Do you have any gifts that you're not presently? Look, my sisters, if you're in Nigeria, you should know that you need more than one income. You should know that you should know that you need things, and you should know that God dropped you in this country for a purpose. You should know that those gifts He gave you, He knew that a time would come like this, and He knew that those gifts would bail you out. So if you are not using them, you are wrong. If you're not using them, you're wrong. I personally have a clarity session that I do for people that try to discover their gifts. If you don't know what to do, you want to monetize your gift, don't know where to start from, I can help you. I have a clarity session. Just send me a DM and say clarity. I will send you the link to book a session. Now, before we come to that session, I will tell you the whole sermon. I don't even know how we got here. Honestly, I don't know how we got to this point. But yeah, I think somebody needs to hear this. I think God wanted somebody to hear this. That's why He pushed me off my butt to say, if you're not tired today, you're going to go in there, you're going to speak. Because I don't even know where this came from. Now, how do you start by monetizing your gift? First of all, what can you monetize? You have to start by knowing your gift, Abby. So how do you know your gifts? There are 3 things you can monetize, or maybe even 4. I'll summarize them like this. Number 1 is your gifts. The things I've been talking about since morning. The things that come to you effortlessly. Like if they wake you up from sleep, you can do it. If nobody pays you for it, you are okay. You can do it. That's your gift. No, not you don't pay. If they wake you up from sleep, you can do it effortlessly. And you can do it excellently. Yeah? That's your gift. Number 2 is your passion. the thing that you're so happy to do, that even if they don't pay you, you can do it. Find your gifts. Number one, find your passion. Number two, and in each of these, this you're going to be writing three. List three things. So if I say your gifts, list three things. For me now, I can say my gifts. My first gift is writing. I can say writing. I can say speaking. I can also say encouraging people. No, teaching. I'll put teaching before encouragement. For whatever, any direction. I won't put four. It's three I wanted to write on. That's gifts. When I get to passion, you think that you love to do that, even if nobody paid you, you do it for free. Speaking. Me, I will speak for free. I will write for free. Yeah? I will teach people for free. Don't worry, you don't even have to pay me. But excuse, you are going to pay me. But you get my point. Then the third category of things you need to find are your skills. Now, this is different from your gifts. Remember, I told you the gifts are the things you do effortlessly. Now, the skills are the things that you have expertise in. These are things that you have received a formal training for. So, for example, I'm an architect by profession. I'm a certified architect. That is a skill. That is, I have received formal training for that. I can say that I am an architect. If you are a baker, you have learned how to bake, you have received formal training and you have done it over time, you are a baker. That's a skill. Are you saying now? You can design clothes. That's a skill. That's a skill. You know what I mean now. So write three. Then the last and the fourth category is your experiences. What are experiences? What are the things that have happened to you that you think is not very common? Doesn't really happen to people. Yeah, it's things that people. It's not. I think it's peculiar to you, or you feel really special that this happened to you. So examples, I would say that I would say, for example, sorry, a minute. I would say one of the examples is so. For example, some people would say, I was wondering where is my light? Not my light that used to make me look very fresh. I just realized I was not on since. Okay, now I'm feeling fresh again. Let's go back. So I was gonna talk about experiences, right? And in experiences, we have things like things like maybe you waited for a child, you waited, you had an infertility journey for some years, you waited, and so you don't, you have stories to tell in that direction. Okay, great. Maybe you waited for a job, you came out of school 10 years, you didn't have a job, maybe last class you started your own business. That's an experience. You can share that. Maybe you you had a horrible marriage, in-law drama, and you overcame. That's a story. That's an experience. Yeah. Maybe you had twin births, like two sets of twins or three sets of twins. That's not very common, is it? That's an experience. Or it could even be a positive experience. It doesn't have to be bad stuff like I've been saying since you suffered. So, it can be that you always ace every interview you go for, or you've been headhunted all your life. You've never had to apply for a job. Excellent. That's a good experience. You can teach it.